Hey, how's it going? It is Chris with the BlahCade Pinball Podcast, and today we're going to do a little something, well, different for me, not different than what Jared does, but we're going to look at how I have set up my haptic controls with the X-Arcade Arcade2TV-XR Pinball Haptic Kit. We're going to be doing this on Scared Stiff, on World Cup Soccer, on the Getaway, and on Taxi. A couple of things to note. The initial setup that I have with my haptic kit, I'm highlighting in this screen up here for where my volume controls are for the actual haptic kit itself. One of the things that I'm trying to make sure of is that I'm not maxing out the speakers to super volume. Think of it as if you had a peaking meter. You don't want to always stay in the green. You want your sound levels dipping up into the yellow, but you never want them in the red because then you get massive distortion. And the same thing applies here to this controller deck. You can max out the speakers, and then basically your haptics are muddled with very loud speaker and the subwoofer, and it just makes for a bad experience. So that's where I'm starting on that end. On the other end also, I have my MetaQuest 3 headset. The volume is all the way at maximum. That is also just a recommendation that is being given to us. So all the volumes that I'm going to be playing with are in-game volumes. So let's go ahead and come over here to Taxi, and we'll show you what I mean. All right, here's our table. And currently, I have all of the audio turned off in settings other than the table physics. So I want to give you an idea of just what the table physics all alone sound like. Now, the audio that you are listening to is the in-game audio. Me trying to record the haptics with the speakers, it's not the exact same. It's so much of it is with feel and not what an actual speaker is. So I wanted to make sure that you're able to actually hear what the table physics sound like. And just trust me when I say I am feeling the flipper haptics. I am sensing the ball roll. I'm feeling a little bit of the slingshots and the pop bumpers. Taxi's not really that loud with just the table physics sounds. And we drained. Okay, since we're drained, that is an excellent time then, excuse me, to actually go ahead and get into our settings. So, here I am in settings, and I'm going to go here and into my sound settings. So, one of the things you're going to notice, I have table selected instead of global. Global changes all the volumes across every single table in the entire game, and we don't necessarily want that. Because each table is uniquely different, which is what you're going to see here with these 4 tables that we're looking at today. The other thing you'll notice is I have my master volume. I'm actually 5 points down, so I'm at level 16 here out of 21. Again, this has to do with the peaking. If I go master volume all the way up, then I wind up having to lower the volume on the controller here. And if I lower the volume on the controller, then I don't feel the haptics as well. So I have found that by lowering the volume here, I get less distortion, which is what I want. So, things that we can change. Voiceover volume, music volume, physics, which I already have all the way up, and our sound effects volume. Now, interestingly enough, and this is all due to the Williams ROM, the voiceover volume, there isn't one. I can turn this all the way up, and it will not affect a single thing on this table. Same thing with the music volume. So just so you can see what my point, I'm going to crank voiceover up. Oh, excuse me, music does change. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't think actually in-game it does. All right, Let's find out. Yep, see, as you can tell, the music is not playing. So it changed the music in the menu. And I had the voice up. Not hearing any vocal callouts. Nothing of the sort, right? Because all of our sounds are coming from the ROM that Williams provides. So I'm going to go back into my settings. And I'm going to turn these all the way down. And all that's going to leave is my sound effects volume, which I'm going to look at my notes here. Sound effects volume, I have this turned up to 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go back to playing. Just like that, we have voice. And we have music. So as you can tell, all the sounds are now in effect. So the only two parameters that were sitting here was our sound effects volume, which covered voice and music, and our table physics. Alright, so that is Taxi. So once again, I'm going to play all these tables one time with just the physics volume on there so you can tell. The reason why I do that is because the pop bumpers actually sound different on each table sometimes. See if I can actually get it into the pop bumper so you can hear it. So it's kind of weird with the supercharger because you're not feeling anything other than just the same feeling that you get from the ball rolling down a habit trail, which is pretty subtle. I wanted you to hear the pop bumpers, but gotta get them into the pop bumpers in order to do that. I do want to say what I'm going for is a nice balanced audio between all the sounds. I don't want one dominating the other because I want to feel all these mechanical physics through the haptic speakers and not through the main audio speakers. All right, well, we're going to have to you're going to have to just trust me that those pop bumpers do make a different sound because I don't want to be here all night doing this. Let's go ahead and add something here. Now, interestingly enough, with the Getaway, voiceover, if I check my notes possible, yeah, Getaway, there is no voice. Voiceover does not control anything. I can turn this all the way up again, and again, you wouldn't hear a thing. So, voice is always my first one that I measure up after I've got my physics volume going. And once I go from voice, I go to sound effects. So my sound effects on the Getaway, I actually have this cranked up all the way to 14. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now you hear there's actually audio callouts there, right?
Nice wheels.
See, so on the Getaway, sound effects volume is also where your vocal callouts are. That's okay. We can let that go. That's a good supercharger hole right there. Okay, so let's add in the final element to this table, which is the music. And I've got my music up to 8, according to my notes. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what I want you to listen for here is a balance where you can hear the audio, you can hear the music, you can hear the table effects, the mechanical effects, all in one. Now that's coming out of the main speakers, and I feel that rumble throughout the entire deck. It's not being fired off by the haptic speakers. But the problem is, if you crank up the volume too much on other aspects, then the haptic sounds wind up trying to come out of the main speaker sound, and then you lose that sensation of where the ball is rolling down the playfield and stuff like that. Hold on, let me enter this in, because those were some good loop championing, I believe. Yeah, loop champion, that's what I figured. Didn't expect to get that while showing you guys this, but there we are. As you can tell, no speech, because all we're doing is the mechanical effects. Now, Zen, of course, is the one that created the mechanical effect sounds. That's why this particular setting always works, because they were in complete control of it. It's their own deal. Oops. Alright, let's go ahead and start adding in things, because this one, we will use all 4 settings. So let's start with the voiceover menu, and for this one, we're going to just bring it up to 3. So now you can hear some other sound effects being added in here. Hear the crowd a little bit. Now you may be wondering why I don't have all those sounds up major. It's because they also duplicate a little bit with our sound effects volume. But you'll notice no voice, even though that's the very setting that we were affecting. So while we got this going on here, getting some control here, And let's go ahead and add in those sound effects. Sound effects volume on this one, I have it up at a 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, strangely enough, we'll hear the voice.
How did he make that save? Strength.
Prepare to land in Chicago.
So the only thing we're missing, clearly, is our music. So, I guess we'll add that in now.
They can't seem to get control of the ball.
Thanks, guy. All right, so for my music, I have got this at a 4. 2, 3, and 4. That magnet really comes through the entire controller.
We're landing in Dallas.
He's got a free kick. Free kick.
So, as you can tell, that's where all these settings. So, wildly different from the other two tables, because now we're using all 4 settings for this particular one. Yes, folks, you can get an Elvira statue in this game. All right. Sorry, that was a question that was brought up in a forum that I saw. Now, Elvira's is an interesting case because it is very bass heavy, and it took me a while to get settings that were somewhat to my satisfaction. It's just a louder table in general, though. No, obviously, not right now, because all of my physics effects are going to be of the same volume level. But let's go ahead and add in our voice, and let's see what happens. Voice on this one is up to 14. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14.
Ball 1 captured. Better be careful.
Oops.
Heads for the deadheads.
So this is all of Elvira's audio. Not any of the other. Oh, well, I guess it does have.
Spider! Put on your big shoes and dance with me. Rock and roll, baby.
Ball 2 captured. One more for multi-ball.
So I really wanted her audio loud because I feel like her callouts are such an essential part of the feel of this game. So I did make the voice volume on this a little bit louder, but it was also just kind of unique because for once the vocal callouts were actually assigned to the proper setting.
Airhead.
Whatever.
All right, so let's add in our next portion of this, which is our sound effects volume. Sound effects volume on this, I have at an 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Get to the laboratory! Mosquitoes? Leeches? Vampires? Lawyers!
Error from the crate!
Feed the crate!
I am the leaper!
Jackpot!
Do as she says!
Oh, jackpot!
Get to the crate!
Jackpot! Wow, you're pretty good at this.
Look up! Stop the spider!
My crystal ball says...
Eyes of the bally beast!
Amazing!
I'd really like to get that lock. There we go.
Hey, get up! What are you, dead or something? Watch this. I'll get him up.
The thief in the coffin! Hey, that's me! Open the jackpot!
So it's kind of different playing this without the music. So, what do you say we add in some music? And my settings for the music is at 8 also. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, this is a tricky one because it's so easy to have the music dominate too much, and then you can't hear the call-outs well. So I've made the choice that I really just prefer hearing the call-outs. I could probably turn down the sound effect volumes a little bit. But again, there's where it just comes to personal choice.
Jackpot!
Return of the Redhead!
Alright, so there's Elvira. Let's go find one. And we're going to come over here and we're going to take a look at Xena. Now what I found with Zen Originals, for the most part, the settings are relatively similar one table to another. There's some differences, a little fine-tuning, but you can almost go in with a... if you solve it for one, you can almost use the same settings for all the other tables. Or at least use them as a launching. Alright, so there's Xena with just table effects on, or mechanical effects. And, as I said before, my first thing that I always like to do is do the voiceovers. So my voiceover on this, I'm going to go up to a 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let you hear just that.
Let's do it! Let's get the treasure and get out of here before it goes.
And again, my object with the voice is to have it only come out, or be predominantly coming out of the main speakers, not the haptic speakers. And the way Zen has encoded this, that's pretty much what the deal is. If I turned off the audio for the volume of those main speakers, you would hear a little bit of it coming through the haptics, but that's not obviously what those haptic speakers are made for.
I'll rise. I refuse to shine.
All right, now that we've heard vocals, let's go ahead and add in our sound effects. Sound effects on Xena, I've got that also at a 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
We have a real problem here. I was attacked in a tavern by a band of thugs. I'm gonna break up their little party.
But sometimes the best man for a job is a woman.
So that's enough of those. Let's go ahead and now add in the final component, which is our music settings, to which I'm going to raise this up to just a 4. 2, 3, and 4.
They're not under my control, Brutus. They're a threat.
Wake up.
Lock them up.
Now we determine who's the best. You and I in a fight till death. And to make things even more interesting, do something!
Does anybody else find this particular mode really difficult? So, all those settings, Knight Rider, I found that Kit is really, really loud, so I actually wound up having to knock the volume down on the vocals of this table. But all the other settings are the same as what I had for Xena. Same thing goes for Battlestar Galactica, where most of the settings are the same, other than, you know, it's just like some fine-tuning. And then when I come over to... and let's not... we'll ignore those tables. And then if I come up here to Tomb Raider, I think with Tomb Raider, let's take a quick look. I think I have the exact same settings as I do for Xena, but let's find out.
Look at that.
Isn't she beautiful?
So, what do we got? Yeah, 4 on the music volume, and voiceover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these are 8s instead of 9s, whereas I was doing 9s on Xena. But, I mean, you know, it's relatively close. So, here's the fun. You gotta do this on every single table. Good news is, though, the game actually memorizes what it is that you have done. This is the same thing that you're going to wind up going and doing with Star Wars VR and FX Classics VR, except for those are all global settings. When this controller comes out to the general public, I'll go ahead and do my final checks, make sure that I like all the levels, just in case anything actually changed. But then I will post all of these so that if you don't want to have to go through the hassle, you can just copy down my list and enter them in, and away you go. So with all that being said, thanks for viewing. Give us a like, give us a follow, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, bye now.